We found a dog park this morning with no other dogs in it.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It's funny, there's a hiker right there.
Talk about stereotyping.
Hey everyone, I'm Louie and this is my Pitty William. We live full-time in my self-converted vintage Aerostar and are traveling the world, well, currently only the US. For the next few months, we will be living, working, and exploring in the southern United States, hoping to debunk stereotypes, learn some history, and eat some good southern food. Oh, and did I mention my mom and her pup are also along for the ride. Thanks for watching and subscribe to find out where we end up each week. So last night we slept at a Crackle Barrel and this morning we took the dogs to a little dog park and did our yoga, but today is going to be kind of an interesting, kind of depressing day because we are going to go to the Whitney Plantation here in Louisiana. It's about like 45 minutes outside of New Orleans, and we're going to visit the plantation and take a digital tour of the place. So I say it's kind of depressing because it's not necessarily a fun and exciting event in history to visit. So today I'm going to take you along for that. All right. But first I'm going to make us some vegan BLTs so that we have some food in our bellies while we go on this journey. Smells like bacon in my van and it's delicious. It reminded me of this one place in Berkeley that if you have the chance to go, it's called The Butcher's Son, and they have so much good bacon and fake meat things that, like, if you're not even a vegan, vegetarian person, you would love it. Anyways, we are headed to the Whitney Plantation Museum. And it's about a 30-minute drive from where we are, so we're gonna drive there and then go check it out.
Can you hear me?
Si, señora. I don't know the words. Escuchamo.
Vámonos!
Vámonos. Driving up is just so surreal. I feel like this is not going to be an easy thing at all to be doing right now, especially since I'm PMSing. I'm just super emotional. Like, I already have tears in my eyes.
Enslaved West Africans built this plantation and created wealth for the plantation's owners through their labor.
In the 17 and early 1800s, 12.5 million people were taken from West and Central Africa and were enslaved here in the United States. This particular plantation enslaved about 350 people. They farmed and harvested rice, indigo, and sugarcane. The main big house was built in 1760 by the enslaved. Those who were forced to work here were skilled laborers, from sugar planters to blacksmiths to nannies. Not a penny was paid to them. The process of growing, harvesting, and processing sugarcane is not an easy job. Often the conditions were dangerous due to wildlife and extreme weather. A piece of history that is often forgotten is the German Coast Uprising. This was the largest slave revolt in the history of the US. 200 to 500 people revolted, but were not successful. It just left me wondering, why hadn't I learned this in school before? The lives of the enslaved on this plantation were hard and unimaginable. Many people were reprimanded with violence or even death. On this plantation, slavery was phased out, but then wage workers took their place, and it often binded a person to the plantation because of their debts. This legal type of enslavement was legal until the 20th century. Now, I just want to take a moment of silence for the victims of slavery. Something that is so important to the progression of the United States is beginning to accept and heal from this country's dark past of enslavement, both of Africans and Indigenous people. Slavery is not something to feel guilty about. We cannot slip this history further and further under the rug. We need to confront and talk about the U.S.'s history of enslavement in order to face racial issues that are prevalent in the U.S. today. If we can learn about these truths, maybe we can begin to teach empathy for one another. The Whitney Plantation does a great job at this. Because I did not go into deep detail about slavery along the German coast, I'll put a few links to some resources that can help you dig deeper. Also, if you're in the area, I highly recommend taking the time to visit this specific plantation, as it is the only one along the German coast that focuses on the history of slavery. As we walked around most of the property, it felt as if the space had been settled, like the healing has begun for the dark and violent past that has occurred here at this plantation. It is especially difficult for my mother and me to visit a place like this because we have ancestors that were enslaved in Mississippi and ancestors who were German, though I don't think they ever owned slaves. I always feel this pull in three directions between anger and resentment and guilt. However, because I am aware of this, I feel like I can begin the process of healing and learning how to be empathetic towards all people. Visiting places that make you confront truths help you to never forget, to claim the history as our own, but to never let such injustices happen again. Healing is the first step in making the U.S. a more equitable home. Education is what catalyzes this. As an American, I truly believe that we can come to terms with our past and rise above racial injustice. But it starts with everyone putting in the work to heal.
Wow is all I have to say to this. Just wow, you have to come here if you have the chance to, because it's really worth your while. Such a great place. It's so powerful.